Hello, good evening and welcome to JoyNews Prime. This broadcast is live from our studios here at Kumasi. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. My name is Fostina Sarfo. Tonight, the Attorney General indicates readiness to approve OSP prosecutions, but the Special Prosecutor refuses to apply, insisting that doing so would undermine its independence. We'll interrogate this turf war and what exactly is left of Ghana's anti-graft fight that is left in limbo. Also tonight, 26-year-old man arraigned for allegedly stealing a police armored vehicle at Nkawie. We'll bring you details of what transpired in court. Residents around the Oti Landfill site raise health concerns over a growing volume of unprocessed waste. Later, I'll bring you Prime Business.
Energy economists predict significant drop in fuel prices after Iran reopened the Strait of Hormuz today.
And in Prime Sports,
we'll be live in Sweden, where the semi-finals of the MTN FA Cup is taking center stage, with Nations FC already booking their spot in the finals.
Remember, we are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Please take a seat. Be my guest. Thanks for choosing us. Well, tonight, the fight over who prosecutes corruption has a new fault line: independence versus law. The Deputy Attorney General, Justice Remsai, says the Office of the Special Prosecutor is declining to seek the AG's authorization to prosecute, even though the Attorney General is willing to give it. The OSP's position, according to him, is that requesting approval undermines its constitutional independence. The claim comes few days after an Accra High Court ruled that the OSP cannot prosecute without express authorization from the Office of the Attorney General, declaring void all its past convictions and ordering the AG to take over all cases the OSP is handling. On Wednesday, the AG's department said it had begun that takeover. Remsai rejects suggestions that the move is designed to cripple the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Why not? Why not? Why won't we grant them the authorization if they apply for it?
Now, in the same way, the Attorney General can also, because of the importance you attach to the Office of the Special Prosecutor, liaise with them and give them that authorization to prosecute corruption and corruption-related cases, right?
Have you ever listened to the debate is not whether OSP is not interested in coming for the authorization, and it's because the OSP says that it is independent and doesn't require the authorization. That is the issue at the center of it. It's not about why you think if OSP wants to, the office wants to come for the authorization, what does it take? It's a letter you write to us. So the fact that they are not doing it should even prompt you to know that the issue is bigger than coming for authorization.
While the Deputy Attorney General has also been explaining how the takeover transition will be carried out.
So you want the court to say that even though you don't have authorization to prosecute at all, you can prosecute some other people, but you can't prosecute this person before me. In other words, you expect that even though the finding is that there's no authorization at all, every other accused person should go and then file a different case for the court to go through and come to the same conclusion, and for the court to come to the same conclusion. So the issue of having decided a case which doesn't apply to another case depends on the nature of the inquiry before the court. It is not a general rule that when the court is making a decision in respect of one person, and then he cannot make the decision, say the decision will not go and affect the other person. If the question is about the person's authority and the finding is that he doesn't have the authority, on what basis would the court say that go and prosecute other people
Well, let's head now to Kumasi, where a 26-year-old man has appeared in court after allegedly stealing a police armored vehicle at Nkawie in the Ashanti region. Ebenezer Frimpong was arrested following a police chase on the Ebuaka-Kumasi stretch after he reportedly drove off with the vehicle parked near Nkawie Market. Police say he seized the opportunity when the driver left the engine running while stepping away. Briefly, my colleague Ohim Nteria was in court today. He filed this report. Well, we will be engaging Ohim Nteria himself shortly, who will be joining us to get a sense of what exactly transpired in court. But I have joining me right now for brief reaction Dr. Ishmael Norman. He's a security analyst and president of the Institute for Security, Disaster and Emergency Studies. I would like to pick your initial reaction. This is quite bold coming from a civilian trying to steal a police vehicle, allegedly. But what really does this mean for the security of Ghanaians and even the police service?
Good evening to you and to your audience. I don't think we have to worry about the general effect on the security of the country. This is a limited matter, and I believe that the young man from Pong was just going for a joyride, something which probably a lot of young men, if they had the opportunity, would want to do it. It doesn't make it right. But we also have to hold the police, the driver, Denchi, also responsible. You don't leave your vehicle running whilst you are in a pharmacy shop trying to buy yourself whatever it is you're trying to buy. Civilians shouldn't do that, and police officers shouldn't do that. He should have known better. And so for me, I think the burden of responsibility should be shared between the police officer who created all the conditions necessary for Frimpong to be able to go for a joyride of 30 miles before they caught up with him.
Thank you so much, Doc. But I have with me Ohim Nteria. You are in court today. We know that he's been arraigned. What exactly transpired in court?
Yes, sir. Today it was very, very interesting at the Kwadaso Circuit Court, where Ebenezer Frimpong, 26, unemployed and resident of Courtroom in the Agyeman-Rawlings district, appeared before the court for the very first time. Whilst the police prosecutor, ASP Albert Asagri, read the facts of the case to the hearing of the accused person who was being charged on stealing before the Honorable Court. The accused person, Ebenezer Frimpong, knelt down and pleaded for leniency. So I would say he appeared remorseful in court today and also pleaded for leniency from the court. In the course of the pleadings, he also asked the presiding judge, His Honor, Jafta Apo, to use his connections to help him get enlistment into the Ghana Police Service. So this threw the whole court into laughter. And the presiding judge, in his response, said he has heard the accused person. But the police prosecutor, ASP Albert Asagri, pleaded with the court to remand the accused person into police custody because, according to him, police had just started investigations, and they will need the accused person to assist them in their investigations. But the court, in its wisdom, the presiding judge, in his wisdom, remanded the accused person into prison custody. According to the presiding judge, this was for the safety of the accused person, just in line with the safety of the accused person. So he will reappear on May 4, 2026 before the same court.
Thank you so much, Ohim Nteria. Well, away from that, let's do other stories now. Well, let's do other stories now. But just before that, let me take you back to our earlier story where we told you about what exactly is transpiring in court. This turf between the Office of the Attorney General and that of the Special Prosecutor. Joining me now is Akufo-Addo. He is a lawyer, and I'd just like to get his brief reaction. We've just heard from the Deputy Attorney General tell us that indeed his office is willing to give authorization to the OSP to prosecute cases, which is really one of the concerns being raised by the High Court judge. But he says the OSP is not interested in requesting for that authorization because he claims that he is independent. Your brief reaction to this standoff between the OSP and the AG? Oh dear, we seem to have lost him briefly. If you just tuned in, we told you earlier that the Office of the Attorney General has expressed willingness to give the OSP authorization to prosecute. And this came up earlier, especially on Tuesday, when the High Court brought out that judgment that we brought you here live on the JoyNews channel, substantively stripping the Office of the Special Prosecutor of its prosecutorial power, arguing that the act that establishes that office clearly states that he would have to get authorization from the Office of the Attorney General, because clearly the Constitution gives the Attorney General the powers to prosecute. We know that yesterday the full ruling came out, and we are even told in that ruling that apart from the case before it, the High Court judge ordered that every other case under the OSP be transferred to the Attorney General. We'll try one more time and see if I have lawyer. Okay, I don't have him. Let's move on to other stories now. We'll bring you that conversation as soon as we have him. Well, away from that, operations at Ghana's ports are set to resume after the Ghana Union of Traders Association called off their intended strike following talks with the government. The discussions focused on concerns over the public and AI valuation system, which traders say is increasing the cost of doing business. Government has agreed to restore the appeals process and expand the dispute committee, but rejects calls to suspend the system. Industry players warn the system could significantly inflate import values and drive up costs. President of the Food and Beverages Association, John Awuni, insists the public and AI system must go.
The figures that is given out are quite outrageous. The government insists that 75% of businesses, when they tested, passed, and 25% are not. And 25% is a very significant number that we think that the government should be very worried about that and to be sure that everything is right. Because as the name implies, artificial intelligence, so it may just as well be giving out artificial figures, valuations that kind of gives a false impression the government is making revenue rather than meanwhile, the government is extorting businesses, and then it eventually have a very huge economic impact in the country. They said they will hold on. If they suspend, they will have no data to show us to understand the workings of the AI. So they are ready to let us understand, but they can only make us understand if the workings of if the AI is in operation. And so this was their explanation. So is the strategy. Our strategy is that suspend and we understand. They say if they suspend, we will have no data to show us how it works. So we should allow it to operate so that they can be able to explain it to us. At the end of the day, the foundation principle is that we want to understand the workings and be carried along or not. And they say from Monday, they were open to us to understand all that.
But government maintains the system will remain in place, insisting concerns should be addressed through ongoing engagement. Listen to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Sapon.
Before Publican, Customs Division of GRA already had a process called the appeals team, where importers or their agents had an issue, a group or a team of officers will sit together and look at the relevant issues and resolve for them. Following the implementation of Publican, we are giving ourselves the timeline to say when there's an issue from our importers or agents as GRA, will work on it within 48 hours and resolve. Because one of the important things we do is trade facilitation, and therefore the process we have should not lead to delays. And therefore resolving appeal issues within 48 hours will help us clear the issues, will allow importers to clear their goods in time, and on that manner also able to reach the market and facilitate their business growth.
Well, join me now on Zoom is convener of the Coalition of Concerned Exporters, Importers, Traders and Freight Forwarders, Michael Obreje. We appreciate your time. Why the sudden suspension of the industrial action? What changed? Michael, can you unmute for me to hear you clearly? Michael, I cannot hear you. I'm sure our audience as well. You still have to try to unmute for me to hear you clearly. Okay. While we still work the lines to get the convener of the Coalition of Concerned Exporters, Importers, Traders and Freight Forwarders, Michael Obreje, to get reasons why they've indeed suspended the industrial action. Let's do other stories. Residents living close to the Oti Landfill site in Kumasi are raising concerns over the health implications of the growing and non-recycled heaps of refuse deposited at the site. The facility, which is nearing its full capacity, is choking residents with stench and serving as breeding grounds for infectious diseases. The Kumasi composite and recycling plant, I beg your pardon, which complements waste collection in the city, remains shut over government's failure to settle 4 years of arrears. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku reports.
A mountain of filth comprising plastics, organic and other solid waste fill the Oti Landfill site in Kumasi. The landfill site receives waste from at least 10 districts and municipalities in the Ashanti region. An aerial view of the facility revealed a choked site with spillover stretching into homes. The stench is extreme here, but we are used to it.
Sometimes
you'd go to the hospital and the doctors would ask whether or not you smoke, but this as a result of the burning here. In 2020, the government announced plans to decommission the facility and re-engineer the site into a modern waste treatment plant. But that reality is far from being met. The machine is out. The machine breaks down every 3 days. We suffer whenever it breaks down. The Kumasi Compost and Recycling Plant, commissioned in 2020, absorbed a significant amount of the solid waste produced in the city. The facility recycled between 2,000 to 3,000 tons of waste daily into various reusable materials, including charcoal briquettes and fertilizers. But the facility is currently non-operational, which the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly attribute to non-payment of arrears since 2022.
But as it stands now, because for 4 years we have not paid them, they are financially restrained and they cannot fully function on their obligations to ECG.
As the dump site grows, residents living close to the Oti Landfill sites are worried over its impact in the coming months.
Whenever it rains, you will see certain insects here. It's unsafe.
Meanwhile, the KMA is raising against time to forestall a full-blown sanitation crisis in the city. For JoyNews, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
Still in the Ashanti region, authorities have impounded over 50 metallic stalls occupying unauthorized spaces at the Kijitia market in Kumasi. Managers say the structures pose a risk to the market's integrity and are worsening congestion. The move is part of ongoing efforts to restore order at the trading hub. There is more in the following report.
The Kejetia market continues to struggle under congestion, with many traders illegally occupying spaces within the market center. The facility, originally built to house 3,000 stores, is seeing additional makeshift metallic stores take over spaces, including aisles at the trading center. The situation, market managers say, has compounded congestion at the market with serious implications on its structural integrity. In a bid to rid the market of these illegal structures, management is clamping down on the metallic stores. Ernest Afayam is the managing director of the Kumasi City Market Limited.
You know, the market was created for the shops and the tables. And as you already know, containers are not allowed in the market. When they began the market and the shop owners started, they came in with these wooden structures where they were able to place their items and display them. But when the fire incident occurred in March 2023, you know, it was established that some of these wooden structures aid in terms of when there's any fire outbreak. So caution was given that we should remove every wooden structure from the market.
At least 50 of the stores were impounded by the Special Security Task Force stationed at the facility.
So we've started this operation to ensure that we sanitize the market by removing these unauthorized containers from the market. You can see the type of containers that we have removed. Some of them are even bigger than the shops. And you realize that this market has been created such that you don't allow any container to enter the market. That's why we have given you a shop. And there is some small spaces in front of your shop to display your things by creating some sort of metal structure, not a container.
Some traders welcome the initiative as they believe it will bring improved movement in the market. This market is all that we have known. We want trading activities to improve here, so anyone who plans to bring in these stores will be prohibited. For JoyNews, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Away from Kumasi, let's head now to the northern region, because the region now has its first resource center for visually impaired learners. Until now, families had to travel long distances to access specialized support. The new facility is expected to ease that burden and improve access to inclusive education. Martina Bugri reports.
For many years, Safia Mukaila had to travel over 300 kilometers to Wa just for her son to access education.
As at the time I took him to Wa School for the Blind, he was around 7 years. In fact, it was not easy looking at my son at that tender age to send him to school. Who would take care of him, who would be bathing him, who would be giving him food. But no, I had to send him because I know the school will be his light.
Safia is one of the many parents across the northern region who have faced the same choice: keep their visually impaired children out of school or send them hundreds of kilometers away to the few institutions equipped to teach them. But today, the tide is about to change with the Resource Center Commission. Speaking at the event, the Executive Director of CAMFID, Feruza Sofian, said persons with visual impairment continue to face systemic challenges, but said the narrative was about to change.
For too long, persons with visual impairments have faced systemic challenges, limited access to education, fewer employment opportunities, and social stigma. But today, we take a bold step towards rewriting that narrative.
As an MP, I'll liaise with the traditional leaders in my constituency, but also with the Ghana Education Service, CAMFID, and other donor partners to see whether we can get a sizable land within the metropolis to be able to build a befitting facility that will be equipped more than this one, so that we can have the full benefit of the opportunity that we deserve.
You're still watching JoyNews Prime. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick turn.
matter where we wander, Africa always calls us home. And here in Ghana, Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, together with clients like Gensa Energy and Goldfields, is driving sustainable growth.
The transition from fossil fuel to cleaner energy is quite imperative for the growth of a continent that we call home.
We want to contribute to delivering affordable gas for industrialization in Africa.
Stanbic is a bank that is focused on impacting lives, and Gensa has the same vision and mission.
Having a reliable source of power has helped our business and our operations in a significant way.
At Stanbic Bank, we bring businesses together, empower communities, and invest in the next generation. Stanbic Corporate and Investment Banking, driving growth, creating impact.
Hey, what's up?
Life. It's moving so fast. Yesterday I was in class 4. Today I'm almost in JHS. My shoes don't fit me anymore. My voice is deeper. I was watching cartoons, but now they say I'm too old for that.
The more things change, the more they'll stay the same. I still love you the same.
Come and sit, Dad.
In a world that keeps changing, Kalipo still keeps making sweet memories.
I still love it.
Dad, I told you to have a sip, not to finish it.
Kalipo food juice drink, making sweet memories. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Charlie, what number? The malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and your fufu. But I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing artemether and lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for effective treatment of malaria.
Great to have you back.
Thank you. No problem.
Malatu is suitable for adults and children. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Another week is here on the greatest of all time show. My name is Giovanni Clip, and tonight we're bringing you talent. Contestant number 1, let's bring Baby Girl. Let's bring. You did it for you.
Cut. Oh, there is a leakage.
Where's the plumber? For quality and durability, insist on Syntex pipes.
If you want quality, this be where you belong.
Strong, tough, and reliable. Your perfect match to your trusted Syntex pipe. Syntex pipe, it dey carry water, no wahala. Syntex pipe, it dey make water dey flow. Syntex, and you're strong, and you're tough.
My name is Ochiame Pan, and Alphabet City says I should tell you about the Easter promo. So this very Easter, Alphabet City is giving out 11% discount on the full price of this beautiful semi-detached 4-bedroom. And they are saying that if you are buying within this month of Easter, because of the grace, they are going to give you free solar panels. And I repeat, free solar panels. The Easter grace is available for all. Secure your home with only 20% deposit of the full price of this beautiful home, and it's going to be yours forever. So call 0240 111 119. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Thanks for choosing us. Well, residents of Bokro, a farming community in the Ahanta West municipality of the Western region, are expressing frustration with government over its failure to operationalize a hospital facility in the area after it was commissioned in 2024. According to them, the non-operationalization of the facility is negatively affecting the community and the Ahanta West municipality as a whole. There's more in the following report.
The Ahanta West Municipal Hospital, Bokro, is part of over 100 hospital projects the MPP government under Akufo-Addo rolled out in an effort to improve health infrastructure across the country. This was named Agenda 111. In December 2024, the president commissioned 3 of those hospitals, including the one in Bokro. Since then, nothing has happened here. Joel Kweku is a unit committee chairman for this area.
In fact, we're going to Madam Koho, I know you or Chade or the hospital in Yujuma. But we're going to why any assets now you won't or Chade hospital will be or Guduli Yujuma. Don't know how I am Bokofo, especially Ahanta West, or how you because what's we last Malaya or Bokram, Anupumanam, Agenda 111, Johnson the Diana, Moon the ambulance be about crosswalk. Abadi, I was what they obey about was the hospital in Yajuba. Until all promote to each other, Nippon Port, what didn't be a few who another baby them. Until more or Hoyan, a ding that they will be, and so hospital in Yajuma.
This is the Agenda 111 project in Bokro, in the Ahanta West municipality. This was one of the few commissioned by former President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo before he left office. Now, after the facility was commissioned, nothing has happened. And today, a closer look at the facility shows a level of deterioration happening. The major question the residents of this municipality are asking is, what is government doing to put this facility to use?
Hospital no age mind because you watch them especially you want cross war inside that Courtroom and Patano Asama.
Albert Anderson and Kofi, residents here like Joel, say they only want government to do right by the people of Bokro and Ahanta West as a whole.
Because by now police ganka for now they may anka debula little my my yes so say yamre adom say Query hospital so from my area na so the ni bebre say kura boa ye menuma mare mo 77 patro bi oba pege ba kodone a bokoro kodone be de yes so ko wa men bebre wo tun mam say done because adakina say scam pro typical anaka odika be ku a e de mo akavakari na wa ho atu ajaka be kwan asala say twike na me sekebe for you on be lo ba yo.
I will hope that the government will come and do it best so that the facility will operate. We are waiting for government to put in the facilities so that it will start operating.
The government in its 2026 budget committed 100 million cedis to complete 10 of the Agenda 111 hospitals this year. The question then is, when will the Bokro Hospital be operationalized? For JoyNews, Samuel Kojo-Brace, Bokro, Ahanta West, Western region.
Away from that, medical laboratory scientists are warning that weak lab systems could undermine government's free primary healthcare policy. They say gaps in infrastructure and capacity threaten effective diagnosis and treatment. The policy aims to expand access to basic care, including laboratory services, across the country. There's more in this report.
Ashanti Regional Chairman of the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists, Dr. George Yao Ayirakwa, says the free primary healthcare policy cannot be successfully implemented unless the government invests in and strengthens laboratory systems across the country. He indicated that laboratory scientists, especially those in deprived areas, struggle to work effectively as a result of the absence of vital supplies. He made a disclosure after a free health screening event at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital to mark the International Biomedical Laboratory Science Day. This year's celebration was held on the theme Biomedical Laboratory Scientists Promoting Sustainability in Clinical Diagnostics.
For our lab system, there's a lot of challenges because the reason is that most of the smaller hospitals and even some of the bigger hospitals don't have the basic equipment, basic logistics, and basic reagents to even work with. And these are basic. These are things that we need to be able to work. Without these things, the work becomes very difficult. So, in this era where the government is bringing up what we call basic or free primary healthcare to Ghanaians, yes, we want to appeal that without these basic equipment, basic logistics, it will be difficult to have free basic healthcare that everybody will benefit. So most of these equipments are very important. So the policymakers, the government, and the ministers should make sure that we have all these logistics available that can help us to work on our patients and to give the maximum results to our patients when they come to the various facilities.
To commemorate the day, the Ashanti Regional Branch of the association, with support from Daima Health Services, provided free health screening such as blood pressure checks, blood glucose tests, and general health counseling for residents in Kumasi. Speaking at the event, the Ashanti Regional Organizer for the association, Kingsley Obinyefiye, highlighted how laboratory tests influence treatment plans.
It helps prevent so many unforeseen circumstances that could have been taken care of through regular checkups. You know, if you go for a checkup and something is discovered, most of the times it's possible through medicine, through patient management, through other preventive measures, we can take hold of the situation in time before maybe it gets out of hand. If situations are allowed to pertain for a longer period, normally leads to serious conditions that are not curable and others. So it's advisable that we involve ourselves in regular checkups.
Hundreds of residents benefited from the exercise and commended the organizers for the initiative, describing it as impactful and necessary for the community.
Health is very important in our daily life, so I just wanted to know my health status. Each and every time we encounter with different people, so it's very important to know your health status when it comes to hepatitis B, C, HIV, and yeah, it's very important.
Francis Mensah's report for JoyNews.
Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire produce nearly 60% of the world's cocoa, yet labor remains widespread across the sector. In Ghana's cocoa growing regions, more than half of children aged 5 and 17 are affected. A new project has been launched to tackle the root causes and exploitation, especially among vulnerable children. Emmanuel Edujemfi reports.
The project, Advancing Rights and Combating Child Labor in Cocoa Value Chains in Ghana, was officially introduced during a high-level inception workshop for regional and district stakeholders from the Ahafo and Bono regions in Goso. This one-year intervention focuses on 4 key districts: Doma Central and Doma West in the Bono region, and Estufi South, Estufi North in the Ahafo region. These areas have historically struggled with high school absenteeism and hazardous labor. Cyprian Bayo is the program's manager of Action Aid Ghana.
The intervention is grounded in the universal concept of human rights, of which Action Aid as a whole is an advocate. It seeks to address fundamental human rights as enshrined in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, including the right to education, health and safety, protection from exploitation, the right to play and leisure, as well as the right to dignity and personal development for children in cocoa growing areas.
Julia Rose of ActionAid UK solicited stakeholders' engagement to make the project implementation successful.
We are very aware that 1 year is not enough to solve all the issues that we would like to solve, but with all your ideas and all the knowledge that you have, we can take that and hopefully build something, really, really great together.
Speaking at the launch, Ahafo Regional Minister Charity Gardner called for robust multi-sectorial collaboration while assuring the full support of the Regional Coordinating Council.
Let us work together to ensure that every child in Ghana is given the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive in a safe environment. I wish to assure ActionAid Ghana and all partners of the full support of the Ahafo Regional Coordinating Council in the successful implementation of this project.
By fostering stakeholder collaboration, ActionAid hopes to institutionalize child protection within the very fabric of Ghana's cocoa industry to ensure just, inclusive, and entirely free from child labor. Emmanuel Edujemfi, JoyNews, Goso.
As climate threats mount, vulnerable Ghanaian farmers need the right protection to weather the storm and sustain production and their livelihoods. For Climate Evidence today, Akufo-Addo reports on how agriculture insurance is actually becoming a lifeline for farmers hit by climate crisis.
Me kuni nyadwa yise nsuo kura na me de machine to me water me nsuo na we.
Kofi Kranchi, a farmer of 40 years at Ejura in the Ashanti region, says when the weather fails, it becomes discouraging to till the land. Erratic rainfall, prolonged dry spells, and flash floods are pushing smallholder farmers to the brink, undermining food security and threatening livelihoods. According to Dr. Victor Owusu, a researcher in coastal livelihoods management and agrarian food systems, the farming calendar is broken.
But the evidence shows that those local indigenous adaptations are no longer able to withstand or cope with the rapid changes in the temperature and the rainfall. So indeed, there is a need for some middle point.
This instability has eroded the resilience of rural farming households who rely solely on their produce to feed their families, repay loans, and save for future seasons. Agricultural insurance is therefore gaining attention as a potential game changer. A Greek economist, Dr. Jonas Osei-Edu, describes insurance cover for farmers as critical.
Insurance is very critical. Why? Because with good insurance, you can even get funding from the banks. When you go to the bank, the first thing they look at is risk. So I remember there was the Ghana Agriculture Insurance Pool, but I don't know how far they have gone. So for us to be able to actually unlock capital, agri insurance is very critical.
Organizations like the Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool, in collaboration with development partners and agri-tech startups, are promoting insurance schemes that cater for smallholder farmers. Despite its potential, agricultural insurance in Ghana remains underutilized. Agronomist Dr. Michael Odenkikwe says there should be opportunities to reduce the risk of farming enterprises.
Early warning systems must be in place, okay, for the farmers to know that this season they should expect the rains to come in at this time or at that time.
As Ghana navigates its path through the climate crisis, integrating agricultural insurance into a broader resilience strategy will be key. Akufo-Addo reporting for Climate Evidence.
This story is brought to you by JoyNews in partnership with CDK and Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Well, if you're experiencing severe hot weather conditions, then this may not be exclusive to you, because that is the concern of a cross-section of Ghanaians on the streets of Accra. A number of people who spoke to JoyNews raised concerns over the ongoing heat wave during the day and night, resulting in discomfort and sleep issues at night. Some of them have been speaking to JoyNews.
It's just hot. Like, you can't even sleep when they off the lights right there. You can't even sleep at all. It's not raining. And there is, like, weather changes.
Of late, before I can sleep, I have to go and wash down, then chill outside before I can even go to the room.
These days, it seems the weather is so warm and so hot. Even if you on fan, you couldn't withstand it. It will be as a result of maybe the depletion of the ozone layer.
I feel maybe the UV rays are getting to us directly. That's why the weather is very hot nowadays.
But the weather in Accra is very, very hot. Yeah, and I know we are not yet in the raining season, but as we are in April, I think by May, June, the weather will be very, very warm. So right now, even sitting in Trotsky, you can feel the heat, and it's very, let's say the traffic is very hectic. So I think by May, June, the weather will be very warm. Even at night, it's cool. For me, it's cool. Yeah, but in the afternoon, it's very, very hot. Like early morning like this, it's very hot.
Well, senior lecturer at the Department of Physics at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Francis Nkrumah, has been explaining the cause of the heat wave.
Yes, so interestingly, the effects that we are having with the temperatures are usual. I don't want to say it's unusual. They are usual because over the past years, we've been observing as a result of climate change, temperatures are rising. And the trend that we are seeing now fits into what we expect, because mainly it's as a result of human activities that are increasing the rising temperatures. Also, there's also that effect of urban heat island effect, especially for those of us in Accra, where the cities would experience significantly higher temperatures than usual as a result of human activities and then the dense infrastructure that we have in Accra. So what happens is that the urban heat island effect increases the temperatures mostly during the night, and therefore people find it difficult to sleep. It's because of the congestion that we have there, and therefore the heat that are supposed to leave the surface tend to escape during the night, and therefore keeps the atmosphere warm at night.
Yes, so watching JoyNews Prime. We'll be back with Showbiz. Please stay with us.
Is your tech holding you back? Feeling lost in the maze of outdated gadgets? Relax. Come with me to Configure.
Magic. Now I've been international fashion designer. No more pencil than talk matter beer. Coffee Ghana. Class in
Oh, number one.
Ghana, we don't just sell electronics, we transform your life. From office to home appliances and more, we have everything you need to step into the future.
Config Ghana, class in Config Ghana, number one.
Turn your home and office design dreams into reality. Here at Lesh Fortune, interior design is our passion. Customized interior design solutions, top of the range products such as curtains and accessories, blinds and accessories, trendy for bespoke hotel, home and office furniture, top-notch space design services.
I'm the CEO of Builders Estates. When it comes to putting the final touch on all my building projects, I look no further than Lesh Fortune for all my interior decoration needs. They bring your ideas to life.
Turning your house into a home. It's more than just aesthetics. You need beauty and elegance, and the expertise is very important. That's why I choose Lesh Fortune Limited, because they have experience.
Yes, indeed. With our many years of experience, we would excite you. So make that call now. Call us on 0244-265588 or 0302-811163. Lesh Fortune Limited.
Lesh Fortune Limited, unleashing luxury with perfection, one space at a time.
Lesh Fortune Limited.
Yo, Green, you know good job. You look unhappy and seem to be in pain.
I have this long-standing well at my anus and it keeps coming and going. I feel sick and so uncomfortable, bro.
Have you taken into consideration going to the hospital?
I've been to several hospitals and they keep telling me the same thing. They said it's anal fistula. I have to undergo a surgery. I'm scared I might not be able to hold my stool if I do this surgery.
Wait, have you considered seeing a proctologist?
Which one is that? What do we have proctologists in Ghana here?
Bro, we have a lot of them. They are being trained every time.
Where can I?
An anal fistula is an abnormal tract which connects the inner parts of the anus to the skin around the anus. As long as this tract persists, there will be a recurring boil around the anus. A proctologist is the one credited with excellent outcomes of surgery of anal fistula. Laser and ligature anal fistula surgeries are the modern methods with very low recurrence rates.
Visit Mwintiba Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us.
Well, it's time now for Showbiz, and Becky's in the studio. Hi, Becky.
Hello to you, Fostina. It's a beautiful Friday. I'm very excited.
Loving your black.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Giving
so
elegance.
much. Why is nobody talking about the heat wave?
We just did. In fact, it was one of the stories we did. The concern about how hot Accra is.
I can't handle it.
It's very sad.
I don't know why.
If you're a young man and you don't have an air conditioner in your room,
you know,
and it's very difficult
and the
for
air
you
condition,
because the ladies just won't visit.
You know, it's very expensive. It's very expensive. Well, let's move away from the heat wave. Let's talk about Joe Mettle this evening because he has weighed in on the growing role of artificial intelligence in music, stressing that while technology can aid production, it cannot replace the depth of human creativity and the spiritual connection that inspires authentic songwriting.
I feel like my comment on, especially when it comes to the AI thing, we can't ignore it. Over time, we still have to find a way to use it. I've had conversations with some of my friends who are also gospel ministers who sometimes say, AI is not spiritual, so AI. But I think if you understand how it works, you realize that it has nothing to do with spirit or, and bear in mind that AI actually does sampling. So it may not be spiritual, but it's sampling from people who are spiritual. Because the sound you feed it is the sound it produces for you. Yeah. And I guess what is happening is a lot of people don't know how it really works. That's why I've tried it before. I have tried AI before, and this is the thing. For me, what happens is instead of having AI do the work for me, I do the work and I feed it. So you can actually do the work. So maybe like if it's I have a producer or something, we sit down, we play the song, we finish everything with just keyboards. I do the lyrics, the arrangements, everything. And then sometimes then you insert it. So in this case, AI wasn't the one that did it. What AI did was extract the rest of the music in terms of like the drum, the bass. But this is the thing, for it to even work, you need to put descriptions. So you add how I want it to sound. I need more drum, I need strings, I need maybe choir, I need, so you describe all that, then it extracts it and then gives you, but even with that, when it's done, you need to take it back and redo it. Because you know that there are codes in the whole sound of AI. So when you put an AI system back into the online, the same AI can generate and let you know that you did not do that work. There was a work done by AI. And that's when the copyright issues and everything start coming up. AI will start punching out people's songs that they worked on because they didn't go back to do it. They fed the AI and the AI. But I think it's a subject that needs to be discussed. It has a lot of advantages, trust me, a lot. So I think it's a good topic. Thank you. And you mentioned we don't have an
Away from Joe Metal in Berlin ahead of the highly anticipated release of the biopic Michael, Jafar Jackson sat down with ET's Kevin Frazier to share insight into portraying his late uncle Michael Jackson, revealing the most challenging performance to recreate on screen and the intense competition he overcame to secure the career-defining role.
Look, we know that everybody's going to go and put everything side by side. It is incredible how you recreated these scenes. Which one was the hardest?
Thank you. Which one was the hardest? I would say probably Billie Jean, Motown 25. Because I wanted to get as close as I possibly could to that frame by frame. And that one was tough because trying to stick to that, frame by frame, but also not coming across as just trying to mimic, but still embodying the performance and being believable while sticking to that structure. That was a challenge, hitting every moment, every beat, but also having the energy and the showmanship behind the moves too, which was a challenge.
And what was it like shooting Thriller? Because I've heard the night was a full moon, and I have some friends who actually saw it that night on the set, and they were like, it was incredible. It was like otherworldly because it was channeling the night that they shot it.
It felt like that. It was surreal. It was weird because it was just like going back in time. Especially I wasn't even born in that time, and for me to see and look in the mirror, and I'm the zombie version of Michael. Yeah. And then to see all the zombies around me, it was one of my favorite moments, I think, during the duration of filming.
So this is the start of your acting career?
Yeah, absolutely. This is just the start.
In the highly anticipated Michael biopic, Jafar Jackson's goal was never to impersonate his uncle, but to rather channel his essence. And boy, does he deliver.
Looking forward to that particular biopic, Michael. For those of you who love Michael Jackson, you should be looking forward to it as well. I'm so grateful that you can have me here on JoyNews Prime. Please log on to myjoyonline.com/art and entertainment. That's where you find all the news. Business with Kojo Baka will be up next on your screens. Fostina is still here. What's going on?
I am. I'm just excited.
And we'd like to say a very big happy birthday to sweet Sarah, producer for PM Express. Sarah, happy birthday to you. We love you so much. What do you have to say?
I have to say I love myself so much too, and I'm so happy today, Sarah's birthday. Happy birthday to you, Sarah. She's hardworking, dedicated.
Yeah.
We celebrate you. We, the JoyNews women,
celebrate you. That's Sarah right there.
Giving all she needs to
That's
give.
Sarah giving us, clocking in 360. Happy birthday. Have a fantastic day. Oh, the day has already ended. The party is tomorrow, actually. So everybody's invited. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kujobaka. Fuel prices in Ghana could see a significant drop in the coming days following Iran's decision to declare the Strait of Hormuz completely open to commercial shipping. According to an energy economist, Ifanel Wusu Agyeman, the reopening of the strait removes a major risk premium that had been embedded in global crude prices. He therefore urged government to use the next pricing window to reduce palm prices further to cushion consumers. He spoke to Joy Business.
We can see on the markets currently, it is very, very immediate because we can see that we've seen about a 10% decrease in oil prices right after the Hormuz was announced that it has been opened. But going forward, since Ghana has a pricing window of calculating the various prices for oil prices, we would have to wait for the next pricing window for us to factor all these reduction in the prices. So we just have to wait for the window, but then the effect is going to be immediate. And then in the next pricing window, government will be able to reduce the fuel prices at pumps, and OMCs will also be able to do same.
Meanwhile, the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, is calling on government to suspend statutory taxes and levies and shorten the reimbursement timeline for oil marketing companies. COMAC, in a statement, is pushing back against claims by the Ministry of Energy that the state is absorbing the cost of the fuel price relief. Instead, the chamber insists OMCs are the ones bearing the financial burden. Let's get more on that as we have it on our screens. Well, they are saying that they appreciate the government's directive to reduce petroleum prices to cushion consumers. However, it says the intervention imposes a substantial financial burden on industry participants, contrary to claims of governments absorbing these costs. Let's get more on that as we have it as well. They are saying that industry participants are incurring significant costs by absorbing reduced margins and pre-financing operations to sustain nationwide fuel supply. So what are they seeking from government and the NPA? COMAC is requesting that the NPA must urgently reduce the current 45 to 60-day timeline for reimbursement to ease working capital pressures on companies and ensure stable fuel supply. Again, they are also making another request. Let's see what they're asking government to do this time round. They're asking government to temporarily suspend or defer statutory tax and levy payments to GRA during this intervention period to relieve the industry's double financing burden. So that's the very latest coming in from COBRA. Away from the petroleum downstream sector, Professor of Finance at the University of Cape Coast Business School, Sarah Nkawie, is calling on Ghana to deepen value addition to its raw materials to boost export earnings. His comments follow new data showing the country's non-traditional exports surged by 30.7% to $5 billion in 2025. Speaking in reaction to the figures, Professor Nkawie emphasized that with targeted support for small and medium-sized businesses, Ghana could significantly expand its export base and sustain stronger earnings growth.
$5 billion, as you stated, is just close to what we have gone for IMF to borrow. We went for $3 billion. And so non-traditional export is giving us $5 billion over the years, then it is very significant for us. That is also telling us that if we are able to add value, process our raw materials into finished products, we'll be able to make enough money in the country to help us do a lot of things. Export is very important, and this very deep or a leap that we may say at this point is significant in the sense that we are now trying to let ourselves know the importance of adding value to the products that we have and making sure that we increase our export earnings. And once we are processing and adding value, it means that we are going to make more returns on whatever we export as a country. We need to support the SMEs. We need to ensure that they have the necessary skills, the tools, the equipment that they need, and the necessary finances that they need to run these businesses. And so if we are able to come out with policies that will drive the SME sector, that will be very good.
JCB Bank PLC has announced a final dividend of 1 cedi per share for the 2025 financial year following approval from the Bank of Ghana. The announcement was made at the bank's 32nd annual general meeting, where the board chairman, Professor Joshua Alabi, explained that last year's proposed dividend was not approved by the regulator, a situation he described as disappointing for both shareholders and the board.
The dividend declaration comes on the back of a strong financial performance in 2025. Despite pressure on interest margins, the board chair noted that the bank maintained resilience with net interest margin settling at 14.4%, supported by strong deposit mobilization and disciplined balance sheet management.
We're on track. So at the end of the year, 2025, the share price from 6 cedis moved to 20 cedis, which is a huge jump for shareholders. So if a shareholder wants to sell a share today, you can see the percentage increase that is going to get. Now, but we also believe that aside that the shareholders too must have some dividends that they can take home. Last year, the profit was about 1.9 billion. And we declare a profit of 1 cedi per share, but the Bank of Ghana didn't approve that. So we entered into a series of discussions and negotiations. And as along the discussions and negotiations, we also told ourselves that we have to work hard to improve upon what happened in 2024. So at the end of 2025, we declared a profit of 3.2 billion cedis, as against the 1.9 the previous year. And the share price also increased from 6 to 20. So with this, we believe that we are in a position to declare dividends.
Professor Alabi also revealed plans to expand beyond Ghana's borders with a strategic move to acquire one of Liberia's top financial institutions already in progress.
Foreign banks are coming to Ghana, and what are we doing? I must say we are also thinking the same as you say, except that we've not announced it because it's in the pipeline. In the middle of somewhere last year, end of last year, yes, I led a team to Liberia, and it is on our intention to buy the third largest bank in Liberia, knowing very well that we were performing and we could afford. So I was in Liberia with the MD and a team. We met with the governor of their central bank to discuss that. We met with the chairman of their investment preferential council, we discussed that. And we met the president of Liberia to show an interest in moving into the Liberian market and the possibility of acquiring the third largest bank in Liberia. As we see today, we are on the negotiation table, and I pray that that will yield a result.
JCB Bank PLC says it remains committed to strengthen its position as a modern technology-driven and competitive institution within Ghana's financial sector.
From one AGM to the other, as Ghana's economy shows signs of recovery, some financial institutions are beginning to turn the corner. Agyeman Community Bank is one of them, posting over 26 million cedis in profit for 2025 after a difficult period. The bank made this known at its 38th annual general meeting. Here's a report by Natalia Kwansa.
There is a renewed sense of confidence around Agyeman Community Bank as the bank charts a strong return to growth. At its 38th annual general meeting, management announced a profit after tax of over 26 million cedis for 2025, a sharp turnaround from the previous year. The bank attributes its earlier setback to the impact of the domestic debt exchange program, exchange rate instability, and broader economic pressures. But leadership says strategic reforms and prudent management help restore stability.
Yes, at the helm of affairs, at a time when a lot of challenges came into the financial sector, from the banking sector cleanup through to the domestic debt exchange. These were very challenging times. But let me commend my hardworking staff, my management team, and the visionary leadership of the board for supporting all the innovations that we introduced into the bank. And now we can say that where we are, the vision we set for ourselves has been achieved.
For traditional leaders on the board, the bank's performance goes beyond profits. It reflects its commitment to community development.
Even though the full expectation had not been achieved, a lot of development and progress have been made. The level of movement, the level of development up to this stage has been tremendous.
The occasion also recognized the contribution of Chief Executive Officer Benjamin Afolashan, who is expected to retire next year after years of reforms and digital transformation. Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson was also present, returning to an institution he once worked with.
Bank that is of great importance to the development of the Western region because of the support it gives to small and medium scale enterprises and its support for communities in which it operates. And so the development of this region cannot do without, Ahantaman. We heard about the support they are seeking to give to contractors who are about, commencing work on some project, and that is refreshing. I mean, we can't ask for more.
And for many customers, the impact is still being felt.
A lot of our hunters could have not gotten the opportunity to go to university because, you see, a hunter is a farming area, and sometimes to get a money to go and pay school admission is very, very difficult. But once you passed and you are taken to a hunter man, my God, a hunter man will even finance your school fees like others. So for me, a hunter man has done a lot for hunters.
I've been with them for the past 5 years. I'm a businesswoman anyway. They have been doing me good. Every time I ask for facilities, just short time I just get it, and it has helped my business a lot.
With renewed confidence and improved performance, Hantaman Community Bank says it is focused on expanding access to finance and deepening its impact in the communities it serves.
Away from the banking sector, Ghana's Minerals Income Investment Fund has recorded 5.4 billion cedis in royalties from mining companies in 2025. This reflects improved compliance and strengthening institutional oversight in the sector. Chief Executive Officer of MIF, Justina Nelson, disclosed this at the fund's CSO roundtable engagement held in Accra.
The figure represents a 10.8% increase over the 4.91 billion Ghana cedis recorded in 2024, marking a significant milestone in effort to maximize returns from Ghana's mineral resources. Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Justina Nelson, described the performance as a reflection of strengthened systems and improved institutional discipline.
In spite of all the structures that has been put in place and then looking across the spectrum, to have some good investments being done. Last year, after putting structures in place, I'm glad to say that in terms of our mandate given to us, we were able to bring in appreciable amounts from ensuring that compliance is taking place in the space. The mining companies were able to do that with us. We worked hand in hand with them and were able to record 5.43 against 4.91 in the space in terms of royalty accumulation to the government. This performance reflects disciplined enforcement, strategic oversight, and strong institutional commitment. Importantly, it is achieved in a year when the CD, in fact, appreciated around 11, as though we projected the 17 that we inherited.
She also signaled a strong start to 2026, noting that early revenue performance is already exceeding expectations.
With the recent amendments of the PPA Act and the PFM Act as well, has helped us to position the fund strongly for the future. With confidence, I can say that MIF has entered 2026 from a position of strength. For instance, seeing the first quarter of what we have been able to do in terms of the royalties that have come in with the help of GRA through the fund to the government of Ghana, we have actually beaten our own record from what we did in 2025. And the figures will be published for transparency, accountability to the people that put us into power.
The fund says it will continue to prioritize transparency and stakeholder engagement to ensure Ghana's mineral wealth delivers long-term value for both present and future generations.
MTN Ghana is committing over $1 billion into network expansion and digital systems to strengthen service delivery and resilience amid rising fiber cuts and cybersecurity threats. Speaking in an interview, Chief Executive of MTN Ghana, Stephen Blewett, says the company will continue to deliver strong shareholder returns.
The investment comes as MTN Ghana responds to growing data consumption, evolving cyber threats, and increasing demand for reliable digital services. Chief Executive Stephen Blewett explained that while businesses would prefer lower taxes, the company has adjusted to the current tax regime and continues to operate efficiently, maintaining profitability while funding critical infrastructure upgrades.
That's the business we operate in. So we are able to produce a good return to our shareholders with that tax system in place. So we don't have a problem with it. We adapt to those things and we still manage to perform adequately with those tax rules in place.
He, however, warns that frequent fiber cuts remain a major threat to service reliability, calling for stricter enforcement and public education on protecting telecom infrastructure.
People need to understand broadly that if you do anything with fiber, you're playing with critical infrastructure, and that's dangerous. So we have to keep educating people, and we accept and we agree with what the chamber is doing, that there needs to be more consequence management. $1 billion, actually.
$1 billion. Where exactly will those investments be?
Well, the investment, like I said, will be mostly spent on the network and then on our systems, because as your business grows, you need to have more robust systems. And we can all see around the world how many cyber attacks are going on. I mean, every time you open up, there's another cyber attack. So it's good to invest in your systems and your resilience to make sure that what you're doing is going to deliver the results.
MTN Ghana says it will continue to deepen collaboration with government and security agencies while leveraging technology to combat mobile money fraud and safeguard its growing digital ecosystem.
Japan Motors Ghana has officially launched the all-new Nissan Patrol in Accra, with key stakeholders highlighting strong Japan-Ghana relations, customer satisfaction and vehicle performance. Speaking at the launch, Japan's ambassador to Ghana congratulated the company for its long-standing contribution to the country's automotive sector. Details in this report.
The launch event held at Silver Star Towers brought together key stakeholders in the automotive industry, including diplomats and industry players. Speaking at the launch, Japan's ambassador to Ghana, Hiroshi Yoshimoto, commended Japan Motors for its long-standing contribution to Ghana's automotive industry. He noted that Japan Motors operations in Ghana date back to the 1950s and reflect the strong and enduring relationship between the two countries.
Allow me to congratulate Japan Motors on this remarkable launch and to commend their unwavering commitment to promoting Japanese automotive excellence in Ghana since 1950s. Their work stands as a testament to the strong and enduring relations between Japan and Ghana. I wish Japan Motors every success in the sale of the all-new Nissan Patrol and in all future endeavors.
The company also used the platform to reaffirm its commitment to delivering not just vehicles, but a complete ownership experience. Managing Director of Japan Motors Ghana, Salem Kalmani, emphasized the importance of customer satisfaction through reliable after-sales service.
At Japan Motors, we're committed not only to delivering world-class vehicles, but also to ensuring complete peace of mind for our customers. The all-new Nissan Patrol comes with a comprehensive 3-year warranty or 100,000 kilometer warranty, whichever comes first, when purchased directly through Japan Motors. Our goal is clear: to provide our valued customers with exceptional after-sales support, delivered by highly trained technicians in a world-class service environment.
On the issue of performance, particularly fuel capability, General Manager for Sales and Marketing at Japan Motors, Amin Kabara, assured customers that the vehicle is well suited to local conditions.
We've done our research already. We've gone to all the fuel suppliers in town. We've got the report. We've asked for the detailed materials, ingredients of their fuel type. And yes, I can answer you with confidence that the quality of fuel that is in Ghana is suitable for this. We have to go for the premium quality fuel. You know, we have 2 levels of fuel. So we advise the clients who drive these cars should go for the premium fuel quality that is available in town.
The launch of the Nissan Patrol is expected to strengthen Japan Motor's position in Ghana's premium SUV segments, offering a blend of performance, durability, and strong after-sales support.
You're still watching Prime Business. As graduate unemployment continues to rise in Ghana, a growing number of young people are shifting from job seekers to job creators, sparking a broader debate about the role of education and entrepreneurship in achieving success. We engaged some young entrepreneurs to examine how they are coping with the new trend. Here's a report.
Every year, thousands of graduates leave Ghana's university with degrees in hand and high hopes of securing formal employment. But for many, the journey into the job market is becoming longer, more uncertain, and increasingly frustrating. This rising rate of graduate unemployment is fueling a growing debate about the value of formal education versus the rise of entrepreneurship. As opportunities in the formal sector continue to shrink, a growing number of young graduates are choosing a different path, building their own businesses instead of waiting for job offers. Meet Priska Brown and Daniel Apori, 2 young graduate entrepreneurs who, after assessing their chances in the job market, decided to take their future into their own hands.
I completed school last year and I read Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Statistics. I'm a beautician, especially in nails. I fix nails and I also sell body splashes, lip glosses, perfume oils, and girly stuff. When I was in school, it was a passion and also a means of survival. That was why I started the business in school.
Yeah, I studied agric sciences. I majored in animal sciences level 400. The name of my business is Sax, and at Sax, what we majorly do is we provide audiovisual technology solutions for events.
What actually inspired you to start business?
Okay, interestingly, 2 things. Number 1, hunger, and then number 2, passion.
But this entrepreneurship is not limited to graduates only. On university campuses, a new generation of student entrepreneurs are already emerging, running small businesses alongside their studies in a bid to stay ahead of the curve. For Kelvin Sosunyako, an accounting student, and Yusuf Nilate, a nursing student, entrepreneurship has become one of the most rewarding parts of their university experience.
I'm a nursing student. I'm into a fashion brand, and then the brand is Red Aruni, so I make custom-made pieces for ladies and gentlemen. They are elegant pieces that when you wear, even this shirt was made by myself. Wow. Currently, as I speak, I know of nursing students who have completed years back and then they are still at home.
I'm a clothing brand owner, so the backdrop you can see, those are my merchandise. Yeah, so anything clothing, mostly streetwear fashion. I'm doing business administration, but then I'm majoring in accounting. So since I'm already learning something related to business, I know that entrepreneurs get, more income as compared to the 95 workers.
As conversations around entrepreneurship as a pathway to success continue to grow, opinions remain divided. While some argue that formal education remains the foundation for success, others believe the rising rate of graduate unemployment is clear evidence that entrepreneurship is becoming the new key to economic survival and growth.
Education is very important. It's also the key, but then there are other ways to make it in life. It's not just about focus, because as you are as you are being educated, you can learn things on the side.
If you're thinking of success in the long term, right, entrepreneurship is something to do, because then you're able to bet out the ideas you have that will be able to solve real life problems, and this is something good.
I believe that entrepreneurship is the new key to success, because as it stands now, once you are done with school, there is no guarantee that you will get a job from the government. So I think that if we are all ready to start our business, we will all be successful.
You can't say education isn't good. Education is very good, but then entrepreneurship exposes you to a wider audience. You meet lots of people. You can even explore your ideas.
Whether driven by passion or necessity, Ghana's young graduates are increasingly taking control of their future, building businesses, creating income, and in some cases, preparing to employ others. But the question still remains, is entrepreneurship the new key to success? For Joy Business, Sarah Esinam Etiemo reports.
And that's it for Prime Business for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Razak is next with Prime Sports.
Eye bribi kitwa bi na yede bo nya yedo ho ban. Ohwepa enye dede na emom eni se obenya bre ahweyie ne enioma kitwa bi a yebeye no yie.
Oja ashwaye she asefremeso na hwe me huye de biara.
Good Conduct Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gari Soaking Mix. Taste of Ghana.
Seeing the Prentex fabric, I like the color, texture. I chose this design. It suits my body type. It means a lot to me to look good in clothes that I wear. I don't care about nobody's opinion. So
Prentex. Hey, Charlie, what number? The malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and your fufu. But I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing artemether and lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for effective treatment of malaria.
Great to have you back.
Thank you. No problem.
Malatu is suitable for adults and children. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hi, it's me. The one you poke, sip, and hopefully love. I'm your small reminder that growing up doesn't mean growing out of me. Trends come and go, but you still reach for me. I'm not just a drink. I'm that little sip that reminds you life can still be sweet. Calipo fruit juice drink, making sweet memories. This advert is FDA approved.
As part of our commitment to financial literacy, we want to help Ghanaians better understand what the Bank of Ghana does. Do you know what the Bank of Ghana does? Let's start with the basics. Bank of Ghana is not a commercial bank. Commercial banks are the ones you and I use. Bank of Ghana is a central bank. You cannot open an account there. You cannot apply for a personal loan. It does not compete for customers. The Bank of Ghana has a clear mandate by law. That mandate is, first, to ensure price stability. Second, to contribute to the promotion and maintenance of financial stability. Third, to promote economic growth and development. Let's briefly look at each one. First, price stability. Price stability means keeping inflation low, stable, and predictable, so the prices of everyday items that you and I purchase don't suddenly rise and make life harder for our households and businesses. Second, financial stability. It means keeping the financial system strong and reliable by supervising banks and other financial institutions, setting standards, and reducing the risk of instability, so money continues to flow safely between people, businesses, and banks. Third, supporting economic growth and development. When prices are stable and the financial system is strong, businesses can invest, people can access credit, and the economy can grow. To achieve these goals, the Bank of Ghana performs several key functions, including setting monetary policy, supervising banks and financial institutions, managing the country's currency, and overseeing payment systems. In summary, Bank of Ghana is not a commercial bank. Commercial banks serve you and I, but Bank of Ghana serves the financial system and the broader economy. It exists to maintain price stability, to preserve confidence in the currency, and to support a resilient financial system. That is what Bank of Ghana does.
Hi there, welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Busbawi. Starts in Swedro, where the semi-finals of this year's FA Cup is underway. Nations FC did etch their name into the history books, securing a place in the first ever FA Cup final with a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Ediana at the Swedro Stadium earlier today, where my colleague Victor Achutamaklo was there and has more in this report.
The first semi-final of the MTN FA Cup has just concluded, and Nations FC have taken the first ticket to the final after beating Ediana FC by 1-0. The decisive goal came after just 8 minutes from the foot of Emmanuel Ano, a neat side-footed finish that the goalkeeper simply had no answers to. And by the end of the game, that was what separated the two sides. That result means that Ediana have now failed to make it past the semi-final stage of the FA Cup 4 times on 4 occasions in the history of the club. Yet, their manager Chioba Arestika was graceful in defeat.
Yes, you see, it's only little the problem. Our captain, the central defender today, is the injury, and I have only 4 days from fix another player. You're starting analyze, and I see the Emmanuel Anor, he have little speed, and I try put the Raymond play with our Kofu from the central defender, but in 4 days he no have the connection, and he's coming the mystic from this situation, and he's coming a score and 1-0. But after the team understand the situation, I will try fix. The problem is the problem about the attitude. I don't know what today the attitude from the player is not aggressive, is not trust, is possible win the game. He have confidence about. Is not coming the more situation from the score. We have inside the MAF, we have inside the CDB, is the Benjamin also inside from possible come back and give the score, but this is the situation. Sometimes you like win the game and it's lose. It's part of the football. Congratulations from the nation about this coming, and more motivation from win the game.
For Nations FC manager Stephen Frimpong Mansu, he has the opportunity to now make it 2 titles in 2 consecutive seasons, because last season he won the Ghana Premier League, and here he is into the final of the MTN FA Cup with Nations FC, and obviously he was delighted to have made it this far.
Yeah, I think we are happy for the win. And like you said, I won the league last season with Gold Stars. Now we are here with the FA Cup Cup finals. So we will try and then also go for the MTN FA Cup. And then the boys so far have done so well. Somebody will say we are struggling in the league, but in the FA Cup we are doing well. And that is how football is. But I hope this win will inspire us going forward for the rest of the league matches.
But for Diana Stars, it has been a tumultuous week where they have lost the 20-year-old forward Dominic Frimpong, a player whose demise the club's chief executive admits will trigger institutional changes. Speaking of changes, the club is now faced with the problem of or potentially losing their manager Chioba Aristika, who's into his 5th stint with the 2-time Premier League champions. Atapoku told Joy Sports that there is an ongoing matter that ought to be resolved and there could be a managerial change at the end of the season.
No, you'd always be, he's the right guy for the build, but he has some personal issues at home that we've been grappling with for some time now, and we are optimistic that the summer will clear this problem up for us. But if it doesn't, we will be left with no option than to look elsewhere. Genuinely, he's the one we want to continue with because he has a contract that still runs, but it's a family situation and we can't speak much about it. So we are hoping that the summer will clear up the issues and then he would return. But in the event the issue becomes so critical like it became in November, December, and then later part of March, then you'll be left with no option than to look elsewhere.
Collins Atapoku, chief executive of Ediana, who have just lost the MTN FA Cup semi-final to Nations FC. Tomorrow, Dreams FC take on Mediama SC in the meeting of 2 former winners of the competition. From the Swedro Sports Stadium, Victor Achitamaklo for Joy Sports.
Yep, the action continues tomorrow. We'll bring you more on all our platforms. Well, Lieutenant Travel and Tours, they have rolled out a 2026 FIFA World Cup Business Expo designed to expose Ghanaian businesses to the international market during the World Cup. The initiative combines travel planning with business opportunities, offering fans structured packages while creating a platform for Ghanaian entrepreneurs to connect with a global audience. My colleague Joseph Ayinga-Walter was at the event today and has more.
With the 2026 FIFA World Cup set to be hosted across the United States, Canada and Mexico, interest among Ghanaian fans is steadily growing. Latina Travels is positioning itself as a key facilitator, offering travel packages tailored specifically for supporters of the Black Stars. Ghana will play its group stage matches in Toronto, Boston and Philadelphia. Chief Executive Officer of Latina Travels and Tour, Ernestina Abrakwa, says the goal is to provide a structured and reliable experience for support.
It's a place where there are hidden opportunities, and every host country or every host city comes with its own unique business that it offers. Boston is very unique. I mean, Boston has been calling for a long time. If you miss this opportunity as a business person and you have something that you can really take it there, you have missed out. This is a marketplace that has come about by sheer coincidence. Ghana, England, Boston. There's nothing you can say that is not essential, that hasn't played a part in this far.
Beyond the travel, the company is also creating business opportunities through a Made in Ghana Expo scheduled to take place in Worcester near Boston ahead of Ghana's clash with England. The Minister for Trade and Industry, who attended the expo, believes the initiative will help project Ghanaian products onto the global stage.
Ghana Black Stars will be based in the greater Boston area, one of the most dynamic economic regions in North America. Boston is home to Harvard, MIT, and a financial district that quietly moves trillions of dollars around the world. Its consumers are among the most educated and globally minded anywhere. And most important of all, Boston is home to a vibrant, hardworking Ghanaian diaspora that has been waiting for a moment like this one. That is the stage we are about to walk onto, carrying Ghanaian products, Ghana's brand, and the Ghanaian story. The Made in Ghana Expo will take place on the 22nd and 23rd of June 2026, right in the middle of the tournament. It is the moment when global attention reaches its peak, when cameras follow every match, and when our Black Stars performance creates
the Association of International Industries sector have also welcomed the move, describing it as a timely opportunity to connect with the international markets during one of the world's biggest sporting events.
I think this is indeed a great initiative by the Tinators. They've been active members of AGI. We know their business prowess. Over the years, they've been organizing this. And once again, they've shown capacity, they've demonstrated ability to organize. And they've invited us to support them. And we have no hesitation at all supporting them. Because apart from the fact that they are organizing tourists and football enthusiasts to go to the US, there's also a very important angle to this, and that's the business angle.
Well, still talking about the World Cup, Black Stars forward Prince Edu Kwabena says a place at the tournament will be one of the biggest achievements of his career as he pushes for inclusion in Ghana's final squad. Now, Kwabena, who earned his debut call-up during friendly matches against Japan, South Korea in November last year, started in both recent international warm-up games against Austria and Germany. The 22-year-old has scored 8 goals in all competitions for Victoria Pleasant this season, and he's been speaking exclusively with Fentio Tahir Fentio on the team's preparations and the chances of the Black Stars going up to the World Cup. And that's the exclusive conversation we'll leave you with, and hopefully we'll connect again in our subsequent bulletins.
Another international break. You started both matches. Tell me what it was like to start these 2 games against these 2 big countries, Austria and Germany.
It's really amazing, everything is great. I'm really happy to start these games and show myself. I'll give thanks to coach for giving me another chance to show myself, and it's really good. I'm really happy.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about your performances in both of those teams. What was the instruction for you playing as a target man? Because we saw that you were isolated a lot and you got into decent positions, but obviously you couldn't get a goal from one of those positions. But what was the instruction for you for these matches from the coach?
Yeah, every game you go is a different approach, and it depends on the game you are going, and you see the tactics we use in the game. Because some of the games, like Austria, like this, they were having they press too much, so sometimes you don't have too much time to think, so you need somebody who can hold up the ball in the forward, then we can rebuild ourselves and something. Yeah, so I was there to hold the ball and to join the attack, to help the attack. Then we can play very good. Yeah.
And obviously that match we lost by 5-1. In today's game, in the game against Germany, we saw a much better performance from the team. We obviously lost by 2-1, but the performance was definitely better than the Austria game. What was the conversation that the coach or the management team had with the players after that Austria game? What was the conversation like?
Yeah, in the Austria game, I think we gave our best, but it was not enough. So when we came and watched the video and see a lot of mistakes we did. So we have to learn from it and go hard on Germany. Because some stuff we do a lot of mistakes in Austria games, and I think it's because we didn't run a lot. Yeah, so we decided this game we have to run a lot, because if we want to win the game, you have to run more than the opponent, work very hard. So we learn from our mistakes in Austria game. Yeah.
In the 2 matches, there were a lot of people that compared your performance to Asamoah Gyan leading the line, that sort of situation. Gyan has been here in camp as well. Have you had a chance to speak to him, and what has he told you?
Right now, I didn't have a chance to speak with him, but I'll be glad to hear from him because he's my role model. Growing up, I've been watching him since, and I'm still learning a lot from his old clips. I'm still watching to learn a lot, and he's our great legend. And I've done a lot from today's batch. And I hope I can learn a lot from him, and I will get the chance to speak with him and to ask him some few questions because I want to see, because he's a legend and he can show me a lot of things. I can work on it. Yeah.
Obviously, you got your first national team call-up a little late, or late last year for the 2 friendly matches against Korea and Japan. Coming into this year, how are you feeling? Are you feeling more and more a big part of the team? What has the reception been like since you entered the team?
I've been so excited being in the team because Blaster is not like. It's not easy to be in the Blaster, and to be there, you can say, okay, then you are working hard, So the thing, you have to work really, really hard to maintain the position and to get spots in the starting line now and stuff. So I was so happy, and I'm really working very hard to be in the team to score my first goal, and many more will come later. Yeah.
Have you thought about how you will celebrate if you score your first goal for the national team?
Yes, always.
Really? You already thought about what celebration are you going for?
That one I say I'm not saying it
until you score.
Yeah, when I score, people will say how I will celebrate because I will be so excited to score my first goal in Ghana. Just say I was so happy. Yeah.
We still have a few months before the World Cup. You go back to your club level. I mean, how confident and how hopeful are you about going to the World Cup? And what will that mean for you if you get selected?
Oh, it will be a great opportunity for me, and I'll be so excited. Because going to the World Cup is not a small thing. Not every player gets a chance to play a World Cup, so to be in that stage, I think it's amazing, and it will be one of my biggest in my career, achievement in my career. So right now I'm going to my club side to focus on that because we have 2 to 3 months more, and we don't know what will happen. So the thing is, I have to keep on working very hard to get in the list. Yeah.
And you've been a bit unlucky when it comes to the national team, especially under 20. I think 2021 you should have been part of the Zito team that went and won the trophy, but you got a really bad injury. Even at the time, if I remember correctly, you had an invitation to the Black Stars under CK Akono. You trained with the team, correct?
Yeah.
How difficult was that to get that close to the Black Stars and even had the chance to have been lead striker for under 20, and then injury just ruined everything?
Yeah, it was a very difficult situation that time, and you cannot take injury from football, But mentally, it was difficult, yeah. But it got so good. I managed it with the support of my family and my friends. Everything goes well, and I come back stronger.
Yeah. And in that period, obviously, you mentioned the support of your friends and your family. But what else really kept you going? Because, sometimes people always talk about the injuries and the fact that it's not the physical part of the injury that's more difficult. It's what it does to you, being alone all this time and all these things that you're always thinking about. How did you get through that difficult period?
Yeah, I think the most difficult part is getting that injury and you don't get somebody to support you. It's very difficult to come back, So, but for me, I got my family supporting me. Every time my mom was talking to me, and she always there for me, like I can overcome this, and she was praying for me all the time. So it was good for me. So it make me get it easy for myself, and I was thinking like I have somebody who is supporting me and everything, so I cannot disappoint her. I have to really work hard and make her proud. And I think I'm doing that for her now. She's very happy seeing me again in the national team, seeing me sign my professional contract, playing very good. So she's happy.
Okay. Let's wrap up by obviously talking about what the future holds for you. You're going back to Victoria Pelton. You've been there for, this is your third season there, or second season? This is your second season there. This season you scored 1 goal, I believe.
No, this season I scored 6 goals.
6 goals?
Yeah, in all competitions I scored 8 goals.
Okay, in all competitions 8 goals. That's a good return. But what did you set any targets for yourself about how this season goes, and possibly where do you see yourself in the next maybe 2 years, 3 years?
Okay. My target was going to Victoria Pleasant. My target was in the next 2 to 3 years. I want to be in the top 5 leagues. And I'm still working very hard because it's not easy. It's not easy to get there. You have to work very hard, and I'm still on it, working very hard, and I know it will come true, for sure. I'm praying for that, and I'm working hard for it.
When you came to the Black Stars team, which players, did you already know some of the players? Which ones are you very close to? I mean, you're supposed to be in the under-20 with Fatau, right?
Yeah. I'm really close with Fatau, Suleimana. We are friends already before I came here and meet them, so it's really easy. And I think the old guys here, they are very nice to me and everything. So to adapt in the system is not that hard for me because they are very supportive.
And how do you prepare for a game in terms of mentality? Some people like to listen to some kind of music. You have a favorite type of music that you like to listen to before, or what is your pre-match routine like?
For me, I don't really have, sometimes I listen to music, sometimes I'm just there, just watching some videos of football, it depends on the mood. So when it's music mood, I just listen to music. So it depends.
Do you have a favorite musician?
I do.
Who is your favorite?
In Ghana?
Yeah. Or anywhere, really?
Yeah, in Ghana, I like Familia, and I like Kofi Kinata and Medical.
Oh, you are an MDK man.
MDK, yeah.
That's amazing. It means you like rap music as well, right?
Yeah. But I don't know how to sing.
You don't know how to rap. You don't know how to say. You don't know how to rap. When that call comes, right, and they name the squad, the day you discover that your name is in the squad, you're going to the World Cup, who is the first person you're going to pick the phone and call?
Of course, it's my mom.
Wow, you're that close with your mother?
Yeah, I'm really close with my mother because she's always there for me. Everything, she's supporting me, praying for me. So, any good news, any bad news, she's the one I call first. Then my brother. Sometimes we call each other like a group call, to if somebody we have some good news or bad news, then we just say it or something. So she's the one I'll call first.
Oh, wow, that's really amazing to hear. And by the way, since you joined the national team, have you had any call from anyone, ex-player or anyone big that surprised you? It's like, oh my God, where did he get my number from? Like, where's this person calling me? Have you had any chat with anyone? Has anyone called you yet? Some of your old friends seeing you in the blasters, like, is that Prince E? Like, have you had any of those kind of calls from anyone yet?
Not really, but for me, it's coming to seeing player like our legend Capitano Stephen Appiah. I was like, really? Because
it's not a dream, it's real.
Yes, I've been growing up watching him playing, giving his best to the national team, and so I was like, wow, he's a big legend, I know, in Germany, of where I live, a lot of people like call me or like. Even now, I have a lot of messages. It's like they are surprised, They're like, Prince, is it you?
Is that really you?
Watching you. Some people are like, they are really proud of me. The time they are singing the national anthem, they say like, it's Prince.
Wow.
Yeah, because in our area, nobody have played national team before, so it's really difficult. And God's so good. I've been there, and I'm really grateful for what God has done for me. And I'm so proud of myself.
That's amazing. We're very proud of you, and we wish you all the best as far as the national team is concerned. And I hope that your dream comes true, and you get to go to the World Cup to play for your country.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm praying for that. Inshallah, it will happen.
Inshallah, it will happen. Thank you so much, Prince. We're rooting for you.
For the past 15 years, St. Thomas Eye Hospital has been setting the pace in Ghana's eye care landscape. In 2011, we became one of the first hospitals to introduce modern phaco surgeries, commonly called laser cataract surgeries, to Ghana. In 2013, again, we became the first eye hospital to start advanced retina detachment surgeries, macular hole surgeries, and other complex vitreoretinal procedures using the MIVS surgical approach. This year, we have set a new pace in glaucoma care with the launch of our advanced twin-star SLT-YAG combo laser, giving the glaucoma patients enhanced options in managing their conditions. We are a premier ophthalmic group practice with 11 specialist eye surgeons working together and leveraging technology to advance eye care in Ghana. We have 4 branches in Accra, Tema, and Kumasi. You may call us on 024-686-6580 or visit our website at www.stthomaseyehospital.com. St. Thomas Eye Hospital, providing excellence in eye care.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Putting on just the fabric isn't really enough. You have to put on your confidence. I chose this Printex fabric because it symbolizes hope and success because of the color and the texture. Maso Printex.
Eye bribi kitua bi na yede bo nya yedo ho ban. Ohwepa enye dede na emom eni se obenya bre ahweyie ne enioma kitua bi a yebeye no yie.
Oja Ashwaye she asefremeso. Mesha muhuye debiara.
Good Conduct, Great Life is brought to you by
Indomie.
Tastes great.
More Kivo inside. Kivo Gary Soaking Mix. Taste of Ghana.